Hello, I'm Sam.
And I'm Daniel.
Today we're talking about transportation.
Your optimal method of transportation strongly depends on where you are, where you're going, the time of day, and how much time you can afford to spend getting there.
For example, in New York City, while it is possible to go anywhere in a car, it's not very fast as traffic is always heavy and there's not a lot of parking spaces in the big city. So instead, most people in New York City take the subway, a taxi, the bus, or walk to get where they're going.
On the other hand, if you live in a more rural area, chances are that you'll want a personal motor vehicle to get around.
Owning and taking care of a vehicle requires a lot of responsibility. Not only do you have to drive the vehicle in a safe and legal way, but you also have to learn how to maintain the vehicle as well.
You could pay a company to fix or take care of your car, but that costs a lot of money. That is why you should learn how to take care of your car and only pay someone to fix it if it is something serious.
One of the things you have to do before getting your driver's permit and eventually your license is take driver's ed. This is a class that has at least 30 hours of classroom instruction, 6 hours of observation in the driver's ed car, and 6 hours of driving in the driver's ed car.
Once you have completed this class, you receive a learner's permit. This allows you to drive with a licensed parent or guardian in the passenger seat. You then must drive a total of 50 hours in the next 6 months, with at least 10 hours driven at night.
After you have done these, or you have turned 17 with your permit, you will take a knowledge test to test your knowledge of road safety and car components. After the knowledge test, you will take a skills test with a licensed driving tester to test your ability in driving safely and following the rules of the road.
Once you have completed both of these tests, you may now drive by yourself as long as you have your driver's license with you. Even though it is a lot of work, getting your driver's license is worth it and makes going places a lot more efficient. These requirements may vary based on the state you live in.
If you've watched the last 2 episodes, then you know what time it is. It's time to show you our interviews about transportation. How old were you when you got your driver's license?
I got my driver's license at 18. I didn't want to do it when I was 16. Didn't want to take driver's ed, so I waited till I was 18. And I rode my bike everywhere, so I waited till I was 18.
I was 17. So when I was 16, we were living in Helena, Montana, and then we were moving. And so I decided not to get my driver's license in Montana because I would have to redo the test and take it all over again in Arizona. So I just waited until we got there.
So I was not a social butterfly, so getting my driver's license did not become a priority for me until I started dating my wife. And so I met her when I was 17, and so at that point it became a priority, and I didn't get it till I was 18.
Right after high school, what kind of transportation did you use?
Bicycle, girlfriend, friends. That was the best form of transportation till I got my license in a car.
When I left home and went to Washington, I was on campus, and so that first year I didn't have a car at all. Beg rides off of friends and that kind of thing, but most of life just happens on campus.
So post high school, I had my own car. I got a 93 Toyota Corolla right before I graduated, bought it off of my sister. And it only cost me $1,000. And I drove that thing for 11 years before I sold it, and I probably should have just kept it because it was such a good car.
What kind of transportation do you use now?
Car.
We have a Ford Expedition, which is good. We traded in our minivan when we finally had too many people and our dog to be able to get all of our stuff for camping. We do a lot of camping, so for us, we ran out of room and we needed a bigger car.
Today, I drive a 99 Toyota Corolla. And that one was my wife's car that she brought with her when we got married. And she upgraded to a 12-passenger van now, and I've been driving her 99 Corolla for probably the last 6 or 7 years.
Tell us about your first car.
My first car was a 61 Ford Falcon wagon It was beautiful and ugly all at the same time. My dad bought it for like $600 and then fixed it, sold it to me for like $1,000, and we continued to fix it. It was a wonderful learning experience.
The first car I drove when I got my license was my parents' car. It was a Dodge Neon. I had to think about that for a second. It was a year or two ago. Dodge Neon. And then the first car that I probably bought in my 20s was a Mercury Sable. And again, because by then we had kids and needed to fill up that back seat.
So my first car was that 93 Toyota Corolla. It had manual roll down windows, manual locks. So it wasn't the most convenient, but it was reliable as all get out. Like I say, in the 11 years I had it, I only had to change the alternator and I think a fuel injector. Those are like the only issues I ever had with it. And it developed a few quirks, but I think the biggest issue with it was the AC didn't work on it, because whoever had it before our family bought it, they must have wrecked it or something and then repaired it. But when they did the AC, they just took the aluminum pipe for the AC, and they crimped it onto the other one. And so when my dad was working on it one time for my sister, he bumped that pipe with his elbow. It fell off, all the gas escaped, no more AC. And I drove that thing around year-round, and in the summer it was brutal. But it had a moonroof on it, so that was a bonus.
Would you buy it again?
I don't know if I could afford it again unless it was in really bad shape.
In a heartbeat.
Probably not now, because if I was going to go with a car that couldn't fit my whole family, I'd probably go with a smaller, more fuel-efficient vehicle.
Why do you own the kind of vehicle that you own now?
Convenience, and I have a little Toyota hatchback, so good gas mileage for my commute. But it's more like how much money do I have at the time I need a car is more of a deciding factor than anything else.
So we have our Ford Expedition because it can fit our family. It's the extended length, even because when we go camping, we fill up that car and then some, and roof rack up top as well, because all of those kids and the dog and all the gear takes up space.
So I drive my Corolla now because, again, they're just bulletproof. They're reliable. They're fuel efficient. And they're just kind of fun to drive. But my other vehicles are vans because, well, like I say, we have a big family and we needed a 12-passenger mini bus.
Did you ever learn to maintain your own car, such as changing a tire or changing your oil?
Yes. I learned to work on vehicles. My dad worked on all of our vehicles, so we were kind of hanging around Dad, looking over his shoulder. And then when we had our own vehicles, we were responsible for fixing our stuff. And it's cheaper to work on your own vehicle than to hire it done. So grew up doing that.
I did learn how to change my oil and change a tire, do basic, change the windshield wipers, basic things like that. I don't currently do those things. My husband either does them or we just get it taken care of when we take our car in.
I learned to maintain my car from my dad mostly. My driver's ed class, they kind of took you through it a little bit. They never did anything hands-on, but no, a lot of what I did was my dad would just tell me to bring the car up. We'd park it in the shop, turn on the bullet heater, and we would change tires, change oil. He showed me how to do all that stuff, and so I continue to do it today.
What's the most important thing you would tell a kid my age about driving safety or vehicle maintenance?
Good advice for kids your age. I would say, as far as safety, don't text and drive. Pay attention to what you're doing. And vehicle maintenance and safety, both. If you have good tires on your car, like good tires, you'll save a lot of headache and hassle. And change your oil at least every 3 or 4 years.
I'd say the most important thing for kids and adults is keep your eyes on the road, and avoid that distracted driving, which is so easy to do because we're never anywhere without our phones, and we hear it pinging at us from the side. It's so easy to think, I'm just going to look over and see, and that's all it takes. It's just that second to get in an accident, to not see something in front of you or rear end someone. So avoid distracted driving.
So for you young drivers out there that are new to this or just getting started, I would say drive like everyone else on the road is trying to kill you. Because chances are you're probably not going to be the one that's going to run yourself into another vehicle or into a tree. What you're going to have is you're going to have people coming into your lane. You're going to have other people doing silly things, and you just need to drive like everyone else is trying to attack you.
If you want to find out more information about vehicles, vehicle care, and getting a driver's license, then you should research car manufacturers, car reviews, and the government site for your driver's license requirements. The links are down in the description below.
If you like this video, or you think it was helpful, then please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. We plan on releasing episode 4 for this series next week. Also, if there's something you think we missed or should have done differently, or you have an idea for another topic that you think we should do in the future, then please leave a comment down below. This is Bros for Life Skills. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.